All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us. This is So I Did a Thing. I'm Chris, where we do the things, man. Ben Courier. Yeah. You don't have to be ready, man. All you got to do is show up. You don't have to be ready. Pants are always optional, as long as you're not on camera. So, what is going on, Andrew Bennett? Holly Campolongo over on Twitch. Hey, Holly. My guest tonight, we were talking backstage, and so much, she's changed so much. So much has shifted since we talked a couple months ago. I was glad I said I need a refresher on what it is exactly that you do, because she was like, "Well, it's totally different now, so you're good," um, which is really cool. I love it when stuff like that happens. You can see the excitement in her eyes, seeing the passion in her eyes for what she's doing. So I'm not gonna talk too much more about it. I'm gonna bring Rosalin Krieger out and let her tell us all about the things she's doing. Hey, Rosalyn,
Hey, hi, Chris.
how are you?
I am great.
Good. I noticed, I meant to tell you when I DM'd you, I noticed you figured out how to pair your account. So we are live on your account, on your page too. And that's where Lauren is tuning in from. She's on your side. Hey,
Oh,
Lauren.
exciting. Okay, thank you.
D Rue. What's up, Darren? Good to see you, brother. Lots of folks joining in. So you've had like all kinds of stuff happen since we talked a month or two ago.
Chris, I've done everything except have a baby. Not that I want it. Again, too old, but anyway. Yeah, Chris, it's been an incredible transformation, metamorphosis. Yeah, and it hasn't been easy. A lot of
Yeah,
growing pains.
yeah,
I mean, just because you're 55, it doesn't mean you don't have growing pains. You do.
right,
But
right.
I'm happy. I went for it. I went for work. I thought, hell, no way in hell I'm going to get this work. But I went for it, and
Yeah,
then I got it. So there you
that's
go.
awesome. That is awesome. So why don't you just tell us a little bit of your background, and then like what made you apply for this job, and then what you're doing, and like you were talking, and I was like, that is a lot of stuff going on right now, and it's just exciting. So tell us about it.
Well, Chris, it's all started in a borough of Toronto called North York in 1966. No, that's too far. Too far back. No.
So I do want to point out, I asked her before you get started. I said, "All right, so look, refresh my memory. It's been a couple months." She's like, "It's okay. We've done a lot's changed since then." She said, "But the first thing you need to know is I am a professional." Yeah, I know. Hope you won't birth a baby, Kenny. I am a professional Canadian as
Yes.
opposed to an amateur Canadian, and she does drink maple syrup by the gallon,
No, no, by the teaspoon,
by the
Chris.
teaspoon, by the
Chris,
teaspoon.
that's libel.
Okay, my bad, my bad, my bad. She does love maple syrup. She's a
Yeah,
professional
that's the
Canadian that
one
loves maple
stereotype.
syrup.
That's the
Yeah,
one stereotype. Yes, maple syrup.
does not play hockey.
Yeah.
Okay.
No back bacon either.
Right. All right, so take us back to the borough in New York in 1960 something. No,
Well,
don't go back that far.
nah, that's too far back. It's too far back.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think I'm always someone who was just cultivated for thinking and listening and learning and having a big heart. I
Mm-hmm.
was always an overly sensitive kid, the one who used to, go after bullies and protect people who were like vulnerable in the schoolyard. And what
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing now is just an extension of that. And the work I went for uh, in January of this year was grief counseling. I The word grief was so foreign to me. I thought, you know what? I like what they're saying. You're out there to support frontline workers in
Mm-hmm.
senior places, so do it.
Mm-hmm.
I went for it, and like I told you, 2 interviews later, I got the job.
That's
And
awesome.
and Chris, and none of this like dragging you to your guts out. I hear people the horror stories, people applying for jobs on LinkedIn. They
Yeah.
ask for your blood type, your shoe size, which side of
Uh,
your mouth do you chew on? I mean, all these
yeah.
stupid things. And I'm so happy that these people they just got me. Like, oh man, we got to have her, and plus it helped having a master's in sociology,
Yeah.
which I never used.
Right.
Right? It's like, oh, you
Yeah.
know what? They go, and plus, and I also said one course on conflict resolution. They go, we like that. You're an excellent speaker. When can you start?
Yeah.
And I started in March, And as I said, I'll be doing my first PSW support, which are personal support workers. They work, they go through a lot, they see a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and they just need to unburden themselves. And I'm happy to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you
And
from?
also, where is she from? I'm from Toronto,
Toronto.
Canada.
That's what I thought. Darren's in
We're the
Canada.
city that people love to hate because we whine about the weather, we whine about the snow, all that stuff. Oh, thank you, not Talina. We finally actually had a connection. She's amazing. She always loves my stuff, and she's actually here watching us. Oh my God,
Was
thank you,
was she
Chris.
the one you were telling me about backstage?
No,
Okay, different,
no,
different one.
that is the wonderful Natasha.
Natasha.
Natasha something JD, and oh, I wish she was watching. She's one of my heroes. Yeah, she is. And before that, I think what also helped me gravitate towards this work were my kind of emotional processing workshops, mostly with seniors, but nonprofits, one-on-ones. And that I really cut my teeth on that, Chris. I thought, man, I can
Mm-hmm.
do this. I
Mm-hmm.
am made for this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So all that gave me the courage and the confidence to go for this work.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And just the fact that you didn't have to jump through any hoops to get the job. I'm connected to a lot of recruiters. What is going on? Katie McManus. How are you, ma'am? Good to see you. Who else did I miss real quick? Let me shout a couple people out. Sultan is here. Good to see
Sultan,
you.
whoa.
Ligia is here. Laura
Yes,
Buckles.
yeah, where's Ms. Malik? She's the one who brought us together.
I
Where is
know it. I was talking to her in the DMs right before this. She said she was going to be here. I tagged her, so hopefully she'll.
Yeah, she's
Uh,
wonderful. Wrote me the most beautiful
yeah.
email. And she said, "Oh, there's Gurpreet. Wow, I haven't seen her in ages. I was on her show last year." Wow.
Okay. Cool. Zora Santiago. Lots of people popping in. That's what's up.
Wow. Beard. I think they're here to see your beard, Chris. It is
It
quite
must be.
magnificent.
It's got to be the beard. I'm getting it
Is
trimmed
it
up
real?
this
Can I tug
weekend.
it? Is it
Yeah,
real?
you can go ahead. You can.
That looks bad.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. No tugging, no tugging.
Hey, Anna. How are you, ma'am? She's one of my new connections. Um, yeah, I'm connected to a lot of recruiters on here, and I've got some that I'm friends with that I talk to all the time. And then I've got friends that I've never worked in the corporate world. I work it's a corporation, but it's a small corporation.
Yeah.
Hey, Gurpreet, I hope I'm saying your name right. How are you? Um,
She's also Canadian.
also Canadian.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's two of us. Oh, so sad. There's only two of us. Oh my
Only two
goodness.
of us on the in LinkedIn. Yeah, Luke Matthews is
Oh, it's
Canadian too.
lonely being Canadian on LinkedIn. So lonely.
Yeah. But I've never had to go through that recruiting process or that hiring process. It was always you turn in your application, you have one interview, it's yes or no, you know. And so you read about that stuff, and I'm just like, holy hell! If that's what working in corporate America is like, they can have that. There's
Exactly.
Naheed Malik, everyone. So
There she is.
it is all her fault that
Yes,
Rosalin and I met.
exactly.
Yep, it is all her fault. I don't even remember how Naheed and I connected. Um, maybe she remembers, but we had a really lovely conversation in the DM. It was voice messages back and forth. And she recommended Rosalind, and I was like, okay, cool.
Yes.
I'll connect with her and we'll see what happens. You have
Yeah, she's
a Canadian
wonderful.
friend. I have one now too, Katie. She's right here.
Mhm. Yes,
Yeah, no doubt.
come to Canada. Come to visit us.
Yeah. I've actually got she lives in New York now.
You got a
Jennifer
what?
Brick, a friend of mine that is Canadian. Her and her husband both are from Toronto, I think, and they live in New York now. They just became citizens last year, so they were Canadian, but now they're not. And she's on LinkedIn.
Nah, Chris. Once you're Canadian, you can't
Always
not.
Canadian. Yeah,
Always Canadian. Come on.
yeah. She definitely is. Like she tells me all about poutine all the time, which I have never had, and she
Oh,
swears.
I never liked it.
See, so are you
Uh,
really a professional Canadian?
no, but I play one on TV. Yuck, yuck, yuck. No, yeah, yeah, no, never liked it. I thought, okay, it's interesting, but if you don't, it's like mushy gravy with cheese curds, but now poutine is a whole thing unto itself. There's like 50 kinds, so
Yeah.
yeah, nah.
So tell us a little bit about the grief facilitating and grief counseling. That's what you're doing where you're working, right? And you
Yeah,
said
well,
you
that's
were
well, right.
born
That's
to do
one of the
this.
things that I do,
One
and
of the
I'm
things,
enjoying
yeah.
it. Yes. Well, it's not what you think it's going to be. Like I thought, it's going to be a lot of people crying into their
Mm-hmm.
coffee
Mm-hmm.
uncontrollably, and me going, what do I do next? Uh, no, it wasn't that at all, because
Mm-hmm.
grief takes on many forms, and people have to grieve different things. You don't just grieve the loss of someone, you grieve the loss of a relationship, you grieve the loss of a job, you grieve the loss of that is still COVID,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so the more I learn about grief, the better I am able to sit with people in their grief.
Mm-hmm.
And also, in some cases, people don't discuss grief. Like there's one manager I'm working with, he discusses actually his trauma. And
Mm-hmm.
I've taught him, for example, self-regulation, which sounds, kind of technical, but just means learning to calm yourself down.
Mm-hmm.
When your anxiety is running you down, when you feel you can't control it, once you acknowledge it, you focus on your breathing, you go sit somewhere, have some water, you're good. And
Mm-hmm.
all the work that you need to do happens below your neck. Your brain isn't involved at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And that's the beauty of me. Okay. I'm thinking of different ways to reframe my history of trauma, but trauma healing has taught me so much, and I'm able to serve people in so many ways. And so I can, like, I'm like trauma triage. I go in there
Mm-hmm.
and I know exactly what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we write. Are you open to doing some writing? Because I have a writing background,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's a kind of a multi interdisciplinary kind of counseling session
Mm-hmm.
where I'm open to helping people with whatever comes up, and for me,
Awesome.
and that's a gift. That's for me. Yeah.
Right. 100%. Yep. Let's see. Naeed had something to say. Tell us about your specialism.
Well, I got so many, not to brag. So, but honestly, my one of them is just being empathetic.
Mm-hmm.
And when you grow up with trauma and you're the sensitive kid in the house, at first it kind of feels, you're told it's a liability. It is not.
Mm-hmm.
I am so attuned to what other people, what they're suffering and how they're hurting themselves. I can figure it out like in 3 seconds and support you, while you struggle, which is why people, once they speak with me, they gravitate towards me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's one of them. Plus, I'm very good at editing. That comes out of my academic background.
Right.
And I
The
used to
fact that-
be I used to be the Canadian Seinfeld expert, which was kind of weird, but that's what happened too.
Wait, so when you say Canadian Seinfeld expert, do you just mean the Canadian that is an expert in Seinfeld, or is there a
Yeah,
Canadian version of
Chris,
Seinfeld?
it's such a weird thing. I have this paper. It's still on a site called Academia. I think it's .edu. You can Google it.
Mm-hmm.
It's my first paper on Seinfeld. It was published in 2003. It's my
Okay.
most read and downloaded newspaper. I mean, article.
Okay.
And my niche was very special. I'm the only one who talked about race in
Mm.
Seinfeld, and
Okay.
I broke it down looking at so how does Jewishness and race and racism play out in Seinfeld, and I ended up writing one of the most famous articles on the show. And then also one on Sex in the City as well. So
Oh
that was
wow.
fun. That was fun.
That's awesome.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about your writing background and kind of the workshops you were doing and would like to do more
Yeah.
of.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
began in August 2020. I am a fan of a local poet workshop facilitator named Rana Bloom. She's like one of my heroes. She's so special.
Mm-hmm.
She is a former therapist who solely supports people in grief or other emotional issues through poetry workshops. And I
Okay.
did hers. I go, you know what? I can do this. I want to do this. So
Mm-hmm.
I contacted a local nonprofit. I go, can I come in online? Obviously, this was August 2020. Can I offer you a complimentary workshop for your staff? They go, yes, we like you. Yes, we know you. And then I just gave them some writing prompts. Sharing was optional, of course, but no censoring at all. Keep your hand moving. And Chris, you would not. Every time I host a workshop, you can't believe the things people write,
Really?
and they shock themselves because they're amazing writers,
Yeah.
amazing poets,
Mm-hmm.
and people come out of it transformed. And one woman told me, she goes, "Listen, I've been with these guys for forever. It's the first time I actually felt close to other staff members."
Yeah.
And that gave me the confidence to do more of that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So and I do that, and plus I used to help academics with writing anxiety. I mean, writing anxiety. Oh God, Chris, is horrible. I mean, my anxiety was so bad. My hand used to shake.
Really?
Yes, horrible. But I realized, okay, if you're scared, just sit. Now I would say, it's not so bad. Sit with it, acknowledge it, and figure out what it's trying to teach you. So I
Mm-hmm.
took that. I worked with very, very nervous master students,
Mm-hmm.
mostly in childhood psychology, and I helped them with their anxiety. I edited their papers and helped them write. So I'm very good at
Cool.
that too. I love that.
Cool. Kind of goes back into not really grief, but dealing with people that have um,
Anxiety.
things mentally going on. Yeah, anxiety going on while using your writing skills too.
Yeah. People need to get a handle on their anxiety. I did. It changed everything. It used to control me. You got all those horrible thoughts in your head. You're like, oh God, I hate my brain.
Mm-hmm.
And then you realize your brain isn't out to get you. Your brain is your brain, and you don't have to be, what's the word, bullied by
Mm-hmm.
your brain. And
By your
most
own
people, I
thoughts.
think, are being bullied,
Yeah.
are afraid of it, don't know what to do. Once I learned what to do, it got a whole lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. And weren't you doing something, refresh my memory, weren't you doing something that was it teaching English to kids or something?
Well, what I do is I still do a little bit of English tutoring, but
English
the
tutoring.
brunt of
Okay.
that work used to be essay writing, but the brunt of it now is critical thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm amazed. Oh, there's like critical thinking, and I'm working with private school students is virtually non-existent.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to tell you, it breaks my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Breaks my heart. I'm working with young people, 13, 14, 15, 16, who can't string together a thought, won't commit to a thought,
Mm-hmm.
and actually just won't learn how to become thinkers. And for me, I couldn't even imagine not becoming a thinker, a good thinker.
Right. Right.
And I don't know how people function without critical thinking.
I
All I
wonder.
do, sorry, yeah.
I wonder why it is that. What do you think? Why do you think it is that kids are having a problem stringing two words together to make a thought, or two? You know what I'm saying? Or like, is it something they're teaching or not teaching in the schools, or
It's
is it
both. It's both. I
okay?
mean, Chris, if it wasn't for me, retreating to my room and becoming, a reader, I don't think I
Mm-hmm.
would have become the thinker and speaker, writer I became,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And I had low self esteem, Chris. No one had lower self esteem than me. But
Mm-hmm.
I notice in general, the students I've worked with over the last 15 years or so, I'll tell you what they have in common: low self esteem, like they just lack confidence,
Mm-hmm.
and then two, they're absolutely not motivated to study. For
Mhm.
whatever reason, it can't just be the phone and distractions. I'm talking, this is an ongoing problem. It's not new. You can't blame it on the phone.
Mhm.
And three, in some cases, I had one student where his mother just refused to even think, even question, wonder, is my son depressed?
Mhm.
Would say, no, no, in our culture, we don't talk. I go, you know what? I think your son is depressed.
Mhm.
Because he had just when you're not when you're a person in your life is not motivated, that's
Mhm.
a red flag. And then I just say overall, there's just I don't not a love for thinking and reading or thinking. That's a problem. I mean, you have to love words. You have to love literature
Mhm.
to become a critical thinker. You just can't skip it. And the people I've worked with over the years will just refuse to put in the work. I often just say, how about 15 minutes? You read for 5 minutes, reflect for 5 minutes, write for 5 minutes. Can you do it?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And they don't do it.
Mhm.
So it also has to do, I think, with the family culture as well.
Mhm.
I've noticed students I work with that their parents don't cultivate that kind of type of behavior at home. And often these are children who have parents who are micromanagers.
Mhm.
Oh
Yeah.
God, beware of the micromanager, in most cases, mother, who's very anxious herself. And it's very hard to work with a student like that.
Mhm.
Yeah. So those for me, I think that in a nutshell, those are what the challenges are. And there's probably a lot of things, that I'm not aware of, but I'm very concerned because they're being rubber stamped in these very expensive schools here in Canada. But eventually, I tell them all, it's going to catch up with you
Right.
because you're not an A student. You're being
Right.
told you're an A student. You are not,
Right.
and it's
There's
it's
a
hard because
there's a
I
big
don't because
difference.
they don't believe it. I go, I know you don't believe me, but trust me, I'm the only person who's ever going to tell you the truth.
Right.
So it's hard, very frustrating.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah,
So you work with kids all the way up to seniors, and you've got the
yeah,
full gamut of age ranges there.
that's right, cradle to grave.
Yeah. Right. That's got to be interesting
It is. It
just to
is.
see the different things that people are going through at different stages in their life.
They are Chris. Chris. Essentially, people are dealing with the same challenges,
Yeah.
right? And yes, it's good to get experience and training in different things. But
Hmm.
here's where I get angry. People go, "You don't have the right background." I've got. It's called transferable skills.
Right.
Hello. I
Right.
thought that was a given, Chris. But when you look on LinkedIn, it seems that or recruiting or people hiring, it seems that transferable skills means nothing.
Hmm.
I mean, talk about a lack of imagination. I mean, are you serious?
Right.
It's a pandemic. If you find someone with transferable skills, hire them.
Yeah.
Come on. So the question: How did I get through to teens?
Hmm.
I don't always get through, Darren, but I'm honest. I spend a good 8 to 10 minutes per hourly session saying, "Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. This isn't correct writing. There are too many mistakes here, and I'm doing most of the intellectual labor here, and
Right.
that's not good for you."
Yeah. You're doing all the heavy lifting.
Very honest. And one student told me, she goes, "You know what? I wish my mother spoke to me the way you do.
Hmm.
I have to. If I'm the only adult who's doing it, then I'm gonna bloody well do it,
Hmm.
even if it means losing the work. Someone has to be honest with compassion, obviously. Not
Right.
like, hey,
Right.
hey, like, hey, Dumbo, not like that. But listen, you're not this. You are not where you need to be right now,
Hmm.
right? No, no. And does this concern you at all? No, yeah, yeah, it does. And then we're back to zero,
Hmm.
And so you need a lot of patience with young people who have zero motivation or willingness to invest time because they either their friends don't do it or they lack self-esteem or self-worth. It always goes much deeper.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
What's up, Emil? Yeah, that self-esteem is a booger, man. It I mean, it's a lie, obviously, but it just it keeps you from doing so much, from even trying, and it puts so much fear and so just keeps you from taking the step, just a hint of a step in the right direction.
Well, Chris, what I learned recently, it's a form of self-protection.
Yeah,
Believe it or not,
yeah, that makes sense. Excuse me.
self-sabotage is a form of self-protection,
Yeah.
which unfortunately most of us don't understand, and that includes parents and coaches on LinkedIn. They're like, why can't you get your shit together? Blah blah blah. One coach told me recently. I go, you know what? I used to think that way too. Why don't I have my shit together by now? You know what? It's because people are complex, and trauma and other abuse and other things create these patterns of thinking in your brain. You can't just pluck
Hmm.
them out like with a tweezer.
Right.
So I learned I need to have more patience and compassion towards myself,
Hmm.
because I used to go, oh God, enough of this. No, no more talking like that. No more. No.
Yeah. Yeah. It took years to get you that way. You're not just like you said, gonna pluck it out with a tweezer.
Thank you, Chris. So that,
It
that, that
took
should be
years.
that should be, I think, more normative on LinkedIn. It is
Hmm.
not.
Hmm.
Here's what you're doing wrong. 7 things. Thank you, thank you so much. This is why you don't make it blah blah. Thank you so much. That's half of LinkedIn,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
here's what to do. Here's what to. Thank you. I'll write down. Here's what to do. Oh, let me get my pen. Yeah, give me a break.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, or they
You know,
shame you.
I tell guys in prison that all the time. Like it took you years of like this way of thinking is years ingrained. Like just because you made up your mind that you're going to do right and you're doing good now, um, remember you've also put your family through years of this, so you can't be mad at them for still being a little apprehensive about whether or not you're going to act right when you get out. You're going to have to show them.
Yeah, yeah,
You've got 20 years of messing up. You've only been gone for 5, so just chill out a minute.
yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Emil. I'm my own worst critic, 100%. And like
Exactly.
it's so much easier for me to show compassion and empathy towards someone else
Yes, Chris, we're
than it
all
is to show it
guilty of
towards
that.
me. Oh my
No,
God.
God, be nice to yourself. Don't listen to Bill Maher. Okay.
Hmm.
Oh, we need more shaming. No, we don't. Okay. If shaming worked, nobody would need a coach, or a life coach or a psychiatrist. Nothing. It
Hmm.
doesn't work. So
Mm-mm.
stop the shaming and the band-aid, hacks.
Yeah, it's not sustainable. Like you may shame yourself into doing something, or somebody else may shame you into doing it, but it's not sustainable because it's not being done for the right reasons. And so it's doomed to fail from the very beginning if you're doing it out of shame.
Yeah.
I agree. So do you use you're an artist, so do you use art in any of your
Yes, I do.
like grief facilitating and all that kind of stuff? Like do
Yeah,
you have
sometimes I
them
do.
do
Yeah.
any kind of drawing or painting or
Yeah.
coloring or anything?
Yeah, sometimes, Chris, I invite students or participants and go, if you don't want to write, you can draw. So, for example, I'm offering a course in Toronto, I think in May, and
Okay.
it's called Writing for Non-Writers. But people, if they don't want to write, they can draw and paint, knit,
Mm-hmm.
whatever they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I began doing that because I noticed last year I did a workshop for another company, and 4 people in the Zoom said, "I don't write." I said, well, "Okay, do what you want." And you know what? They got a lot out of it, as much as the people who do write.
Yeah.
Not everybody is meant to write. I
Mm-hmm.
am meant to write. I
Mm-hmm.
knew it from a very young age.
Mm-hmm.
But some people aren't. But I think, but it doesn't hurt to try. Write a little bit, 5 minutes a day.
Right.
But that in itself is a huge mind. Uh, what's the word? That's a huge thing to ask people who aren't used to it,
Mm-hmm.
because writing asks people to be vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
And most of us are too busy getting numbed out still to do that, me
Mm-hmm.
included still sometimes. But when I sit
Mm-hmm.
down to write, I sit down to write.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't write about, flowers and candy corn and shit like that. I get down to the real stuff, right?
Did you say candy corn?
Yeah.
Oh.
I never Chris, that's one of the most disgusting foods I ever had in my life.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank
Sorry to
you.
candy corn people, but corn, popcorn is meant to have just salt on it and some other spicy things. That's it.
I'm fixing to tag somebody in here.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll show up. There's a guy named one of my buddies, Adam Canidla, is a um, he loves candy corn.
Uh,
And so, yeah, thank you, Holly. You are absolutely right. Candy corn is nasty. It's the worst stuff ever. He loves candy corn. And it's a running joke. Thank you, Brandy. Peeps too, man. I almost did a post on that today.
oh
Good,
God, peeps.
good.
Okay, we don't have peeps in Canada, but I saw it on a talk. I go, my God, that's
Oh,
disgusting.
they're gross. They're so nasty.
Oh, it's like
So healing. Yeah,
chewing on a mattress or something. I don't know, with lots of chemicals. I don't know.
yeah, they're nasty. They're so
Yeah,
gross.
we have enough. We have enough crap here. We don't have to have crap south of the border. So there's enough horrible candy stuff here.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
writing is. I'm sure writing has been healing, especially like if you're doing poetry. Like I'm not gifted to write poetry at all. I could probably sit down and write a story or something if I really made myself.
Chris,
Um,
you know what? You won't know until you try.
right.
So when we're done here, I suggest you and we get together and we do some writing. Yeah, so that's an open invitation to you.
Okay.
Sure,
Thank
why
you.
not?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Lauren. So look.
yeah. Writing. I mean, writing is and again with a no, when you do this kind of writing to heal, writing to process emotions, to get decluttered, it's best to do it not on your computer with a
Yeah, I can
writing
see that.
utensil,
I can see
because
that.
the writing utensil, for me, it connects you, goes from your brain through your arm to the paper. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, I can see that because it's the actual physical act.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, now we're having a candy corn fight in the
Yeah,
comments.
we are. Lord, I'm not going to kick you out. I'm not
Yeah,
going to delete you just because of that, but my guard is up, just so you know.
that's right. Yes,
Who,
anything creative is good. Anything creative is good. Yes. And I recommend getting, what got me back into painting in 2015 is the book, The Practice, The Artist Way,
hmm
from Julia Cameron. What an amazing, amazing practice. And my painting has changed so much in the last 7 years. I'm a more confident painter, but I mostly do it because I just love color. I love touching the paint. And it
hmm
also keeps me present. When you grow up with trauma, you have a hard time being present,
hmm
and it keeps me present.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Darren, where is he? Yeah, there he is. He's doing both writing and music. He's a musician
Oh,
too.
perfect. Music, yeah. Anything
Yeah,
you do. And no one ever has to hear it, Chris. No one ever has to read it. It's for
it's
you.
for you. Yeah,
That's it.
yep.
Yep.
Darren, I need to get you on the show, man. I bet we'd have lots to talk about.
Okay, there's a mysterious LinkedIn user.
Yeah,
Someone,
that's Sarah Santa Maria.
okay.
She said something about her son not liking Peeps.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a smart boy.
he is a smart boy for
Yeah.
being two. Yep. So tell us, like, whenever you do your art, I'm fixing to put your website up here. Where'd I put it?
Yep, it's the Rosalin Krieger art.
Rosalin
And I
Krieger.
was, again, I never thought I'd be making art. I never thought I'd be in art shows. I was in an art show in January,
Mm-hmm.
and I was in an art show in November or December last year. I already forgot.
Okay.
And it was a really swanky place. There's a beautiful place where I don't street in Toronto where I never go because only rich people go there.
Is
King
that
Street
out of
East.
Swanky in Canada? Is that where they serve maple syrup in champagne glasses? Is that how that
Exactly.
works?
'Cause I usually have it in the form of a shooter, and there I get it in I get it in a champagne glass.
Yeah, right on.
That's right, Chris. You know your stuff. You've done your research, and they give you a piece of bacon, and you're good to go. That's
Right.
right. Yeah. So I do. So I'm sometimes I make art around 1 or 2 in the morning, which is I don't recommend a lot, but when I feel like I gotta do it, then I'll do it. Like there's a, it's kind of a, I'm not gonna call it compulsion, but I gotta do it. But I'm kind of in a zone, but I don't. It doesn't happen a lot though.
Right.
But painting is a gift I took away from myself for most of my life. I was a child protege, and then I
Mhm.
took it away because trauma plays with your mind, telling you you don't deserve things, you don't
Mhm.
deserve joy.
Mhm.
Oh, there goes my throat. And and I thought, thankfully, I said no. I deserve joy. I deserve.
Yeah. Yep. Do
Thank,
you sell
thank
your
you for
art?
Halls. I know Halls isn't a sponsor, but it is a great invention from south of the border. Thank you for Halls.
Right. And that's one of your pieces behind you, right?
Yeah, there's actually 2 of them. I
Two of
know
them. Yeah.
I
Okay.
can't really show. Okay, this one I'll show you. Oop, God, if I rip it, I'll kill myself. Can you see it?
Where'd you go? Hang on. I did something. I'm
Oh,
fixing to highlight. I need to highlight you. Let's do it
okay,
that way. Yep.
that's one of them. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And I specialize in what I call my painting renos. I take an old painting I didn't like and go, and I thought, oh man, and I redo it in my current style, and they come
Mm-hmm.
out just so better, much better.
Mm-hmm.
And so I paint mostly abstract.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Cool.
there you go.
Adam, you're late to the party. Took you a minute to get here after I tagged you in. Yeah, we were talking about candy corn and how terrible it was.
Yeah, yeah, horrible,
Um,
horrible.
yeah, Lauren Lefkowitz likes it. She also likes Peeps and Circus Peanuts. So y'all should probably talk.
Well, thank you, Zara Santiago, for saying it. I'm sorry
Yes.
you went through it. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Yes. But you know what? You get the help that you need. And thankfully, in my part of Canada, it's so affordable. There's actually a website called Affordable Therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And I pay only $50 an hour. And I have an amazing trauma therapist. Because if I go to a regular person, like who doesn't offer some lower wages for lower fees,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I would have done because the first guy approached was charging, rightfully so, 165 an hour, but I can't afford 165 an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I'm
So
sorry, Lauren.
but that changed everything. There I learned about EMDR therapy. I learned about that true trauma therapy really happens in the body, which
Mm-hmm.
stunned me. And as an academic, I was not prepared to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
So I fought that for like 14 months. So I thought, okay, you're not helping. Okay. So take your brain out of it and just listen to your body
Mm-hmm.
and focus on really processing trauma that's trapped in the body. But that's where it resides. It's trapped in your body.
Mm-hmm.
And that for me was a big game changer. Yeah.
How does it get trapped in your body? Can you expound on that a little bit?
Because well, trauma is it's a physiological response, right? People, anyone, when you get nervous or
Mhm.
something comes up, what do you say? Oh, my stomach. You get a stomach ache.
Mm.
You
Mhm.
sweat. Some people get chills. I get chills in my upper arms.
Okay.
Sometimes when I'm doing parts work with my therapist, I feel a heaviness in the upper part of my body.
Mhm.
Exactly, the body remembers. So all
Mhm.
of those, the things you experience, the trauma, the fear, gets trapped. Almost, like a bug in glass. It's trapped,
Mhm.
and it needs to be. It longs with support to be processed and then
Mhm.
reframed.
Mhm.
And I was so happy to process and reframe a lot of it. And wonderful techniques. Yet the body keeps the score. That's the book that changed everything. The body keeps the score by Bessel van der Kolk. If you're wondering
Interesting.
about trauma, that's the book to get. And then
Mhm.
because he teaches you all the different um, types of treatments for trauma. And he's very funny too. You can watch him on YouTube. He's fantastic. And also the Canadian Dr. Gabor Mate is one of the world's experts on trauma. Very
Okay.
important. But the whole idea, and it's hard for trauma people and population in general, is to
Mhm.
feel that emotional pain
Mhm.
because as a kid you weren't allowed to.
Right.
So what do, you bury it,
Mhm.
but you need to process it because eventually it does come out in different forms, and
That
it's
is so
very
crazy.
complex. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I just said that is it's so crazy to think about. I mean, it makes sense. I'm not doubting you. I'm just saying it's a crazy thing to think about. Something that happens to you, what you think is a mental thing or emotional thing, and it shows itself in the physical.
No, but it is though. It is
Right. Right.
because trauma separates you from yourself. It separates you from your emotions. It
Mhm.
separates you from your body. Before I knew I had trauma, Chris, there's a picture. It's on my website. I drew a picture of myself with my head floating upwards and my body separate
Mhm.
downwards. I showed it to Basil Vandercook, who wrote The Body Keeps the Score. He goes, that's it right there.
Mhm.
That's trauma. I didn't know that.
Interesting.
Didn't know.
Brandy had a question for you.
Yeah, where is
What
it?
if someone has blocked out the trauma mentally, like they know it happened, but literally can't remember?
I also have memory loss, Randy. I do. But I'm we're trying to get out more and more in session, but there are a lot of things I just don't remember.
Hmm.
So the memory loss, and there's different types of memory loss, is actually quite common. Yeah,
Interesting. Yep. It's crazy, isn't it, Emil? Just how whenever you process stuff, how you it changes you.
it does. It's transformational, and it's so much better. Now my job for me is just to get better at emotional processing for myself by myself.
Hmm.
That for me is still hard.
Yep. You think the memory loss is your mind's way of trying to protect you?
Could be, could be. I honestly I don't know. I don't think we know enough, but what I've learned though, and this is so important to keep you present, is that it's not productive to always ask why. Why me? Why am I like this? Why am I the only one in the family like this? My friends aren't like this. It's not helpful. And my therapist said she doesn't like the why because it doesn't it keeps you stuck in the past and not present.
Hmm.
And that's what and people have anxiety and trauma have very difficult time being present.
Hmm.
They're in a child ego state, and it's
Hmm.
important to go. Okay, am I in the child ego state? Am I reacting from my ego like a certain Oscar winner a couple of weekends ago? Then I need to shift from my child ego state to
Right.
my adult ego state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brandy had another question related to that. Is it best to just not try and remember, like let it be, or to dig deeper and remember details?
Well, you whatever comes out in your session with your therapist. But I honestly, she'll ask me, "Do you remember something?" And I go, "No," and then we move on, because I that's obviously a part that I cannot work with. You can only work with what comes up. But
Mm-hmm.
eventually, in my case, some experiences will come up. I go, oh, I've got something.
Mm-hmm.
But that's only been recently.
Darren, thanks for dropping in, man. Always good to see you.
Thank you, Darren.
Yep, sometimes probably can. You're right. Emo, maybe you know and you can answer. If not, I'll get Emo to answer. What is EMDR? You had said that a
Oh, it's
couple
so
times.
cool. You know, I thought this is so stupid, but you what you do, so you begin by processing something painful,
Mm-hmm.
and it's part of reframing.
Okay.
So and then your therapist either can tap, and you follow her finger, and what it does, it rewires your neurons. So you follow, and then you process the reframing, and you're given a number 1 to 10. How are you feeling about that? And the goal is to go from 10, 9, 8 to lower the rating, the intensity of the emotion. And my God, it's fantastic.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I've never heard of it. Eye
it
movement
actually works.
desensitization.
It works. And then you also
Desensitization.
tap it in,
Okay.
and then you finish by tapping it in.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, Kenny, no slapping. We know what happens when you tell people you're going to slap them, don't
That's
we,
right.
Kenny?
So I've done EMDR, parts work, Fraser's table, which is a Canadian approach to trauma therapy, also fantastic, and parts work. Yeah, so different techniques, all really good. Hypnosis, nothing like they show you in the movies. So I'm not a fan of the hypnosis because it's not the same way. I thought like you're out, you're not.
Mhm.
So I don't like it very much.
Hmm. Um, yeah, let's see, did I miss something before we start winding this down? So, put your website back up here. This has been an amazing conversation.
Well, thank you,
Just
Chris.
all, yeah, just it's gone everywhere and touched on a bunch of topics, but it's just been fascinating. Um, if people wanted to reach out to you for any kind of one-on-one coaching, you're available for that.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, they can shoot you a DM here on LinkedIn, connect with
Yes,
you,
they
shoot you a
can. Yes,
DM.
they can. But don't try and sell me Bitcoin. Stop it.
Yeah, don't sell Bitcoin. Please don't.
Okay, don't sell me Bitcoin. Don't tell me I'm going to change your website. No, no. If I don't know you, no, don't sell me shit. Don't sell me shit. I don't sell stranger stuff. So please don't do it to other people. Please.
No, I'm
Come on.
with you 100%. 100%. Let's see, who do I have? Was there anything else you wanted to touch on, hit on, talk about that we missed?
I just well, yeah,
No, no
hey, Emil,
forex
no
either, Emil.
forex.
Yeah, no
Wasn't that
forex
wasn't
either.
that a Dr. Seuss thing? Forex? Wasn't that something like that?
I think that was a Lorax.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I
Same
misspoke.
thing. Yeah.
Lorex, Forex, same thing. Okay, whatever. Dr. Seuss was cool. Well,
Yeah.
really, I just want to say, Chris, this is just another opportunity for me to show people, invite people to number one, you know, if you have anxiety, just accept it and don't see it as a life sentence.
Mm-hmm.
To think about adopting some sort of creative practice. It can be
Mm-hmm.
music, writing, and do it for yourself, not because you want to be famous, whatever. It has to
Mm-hmm.
start from a place of self love and self interest.
Mm-hmm.
Three, as you scroll through different feeds, if you don't like something, then just unfollow it. I've been unfollowing people on Instagram. It feels good. Long overdue.
Right.
You know, you can follow and unfollow me too if it makes you feel good, whatever. Just do it. Use your
Right.
time wisely when you're
Hmm.
on when you're on LinkedIn. Don't just be there scrolling, because that's just another form of distraction. I know it because I'm the queen of distraction.
Hmm.
Binge watching crime dramas, on Netflix and other places, and
Hmm.
food, and I'm just saying it doesn't pay. It feels good for an hour or two, and then you go like,
Yeah.
what have I done?
Yeah.
Right. So show up, try and show up the best that you can, be human, learn from your mistakes, and love yourself. It's a cliche, but what I meant, love yourself, love the person you are now,
Right.
not the one you were, or not the one you hope to be, or the one LinkedIn tells you you have to be, or the
Hmm.
one Instagram says you have to be. And
Hmm.
close your Facebook account. Just close it.
Right. Just get rid of it. Home.
Yeah, it's just like I closed mine September, and of course they drag it out. Oh, you sure? And okay, your account's going to be here for 30 more days. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what? It's that's one thing you can just get rid of.
Yeah.
And if you can, just listen more, learn more, and try and engage with people who are going to meet you in a
Hmm.
very sincere and empathetic and humble way.
Yeah.
That's all. That's pretty much it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
One last question from Nahid.
Yes.
Can you touch on what high functioning depression is to help people be aware of the signs and the symptoms?
No. Because I know nothing about high functioning depression. Nothing. The only time I speak about myself is stuff I've experienced, and I have lived with a lot of anxiety. Mine started in 2005, in the usual way: rapid heartbeat for a week. You
Hmm.
go for a cardiogram, your heart's fine, but you seem to worry a lot. You have money problems? Yes, I have so much student debt. So that's how it began. I didn't get treatment for it until like 5 years ago. And
Hmm.
I thought, once I understood what it was, that it isn't something to be feared, nothing to be ashamed of, I was well on my way to engaging better with it.
Yeah.
And then I got the help for trauma. Yeah. So yeah,
Cool.
I can't comment on high functioning depression. Sorry. Yeah.
No, it's all good. You got a smiley face from her, so it's all good.
Yeah. All I can say is that, but people who are depressed, they're not. If you are depressed or anxious, you are not in the present. Right? One is worrying about a future that doesn't exist, and one is worrying about something that already happened that
Hmm.
cannot be changed.
Hmm.
And when I was sometimes depressed, it was tied to self pity, feelings of
Hmm.
hopelessness, uh, feeling weak, and that also doesn't serve you well.
Hmm.
If you find yourself indulging in self pity, that's a red flag that needs your attention. Yeah, because the only antidote is to two things: be present and take action. Nothing else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on.
Like move your body, exercise, walk, whatever, do something, but move,
Yeah.
move. Yeah.
Good deal.
Wash your
Awesome.
hands, do something tactile, cook something.
Yeah.
Cooking, when I make my dinner every day, something simple, I feel so good. I feel really good.
Yeah. It's crazy what just those simple mundane tasks can help you do.
Well, no, thank you, Brandon. It's all part of self care, but no one seems to teach you that. I don't know. Tired of your space every day. Clean it, declutter your desk, declutter your bedroom. Just
Hmm.
go about decluttering. And trust me, you're going to feel a whole lot better. Give your
Yeah.
crap away. You don't need it.
Right.
Come on.
Exactly. You definitely don't need all that
No,
crap.
you don't. I used to
Yeah.
keep all these books. I go, give these books away. I gave them away. I felt so good.
Yeah. It does.
And you don't have to watch that lady on Netflix to declutter. Okay, you can declutter yourself. Okay.
Right.
Oh no, I got. She knows. Yeah. You know what? We all know how to declutter. We just don't want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. You're exactly right, Zora. I love that. Chop wood, carry water, do something.
No, no.
Move your body.
I get splinters too easily, so it ain't gonna happen. No. Yeah.
Dang, Kenny. I'm coming
Sounds
to
good.
Sugarland. Yeah. All right, guys. Next week, I have Jacob Roig on the show. Jacob is a business coach. Be the second business coach I've had. That was not on purpose this month. Um, the first one I had on, I had somebody cancel on me, and she was very gracious enough to fill the spot. Yeah, you can do it, Brandy. You can do it. You can do it.
Even for 5 minutes, Brandy. Don't make excuses. Come on. Even five
Yeah.
minutes.
No ending the stigma this week. Next week I have Darren Wallace on. He's a retired TDCJ warden, working for Cornbread Hustle, a second chance recruiting and staffing agency. So he was a warden turned helping people getting out of prison. So I thought that was really cool
Oh,
of him.
that sounds amazing.
Yeah, I know, right? Like it's awesome. I can't wait to get him on. And I think that is it. This has been really, really cool. Like I said, it's just been, we've hopped around, almost felt like a squirrel chasing around, but it was just like, like these quick little 5 or 10 minute nuggets, just cool little nuggets. Boom, boom, boom.
Chris,
I
it's all
love it.
connected. It's all
Yeah,
connected.
exactly. It was all connected 100%.
Exactly. You want to
Um,
speak like me? Learn how to speak. Learn. Come on. Beef up your skills. Come on.
right. Yeah. All right, guys, we are coming up on the hour. Rosalin, anything you want to say? Last call. I know I said that to you a couple minutes ago.
I just want to say, read something new today, think about it, and write about it for 5 minutes.
5 minutes each. Read, think, and write. 15
5
minutes.
minutes. It's my 555.
Yep,
Try
5 minute
it.
rule. I like it.
Try it.
Cool. All
If
right,
you have
everyone.
the courage to do it.
Oh, that sounds like a challenge.
It is.
Right.
And that's what people go, nah, I won't do it. I want to stay where I am and be
Yeah.
envious and jealous. I'm
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're out of here so I can go home and I ate supper. I'm so used to saying I'd go home and eat supper, or eat dinner, but I ate dinner right beforehand. Go home and play with the dogs.
Sounds
I'm
good.
gonna go home and play with the dogs. Rosalind, thank you so much. This was really,
Chris, thank you so
really
much.
awesome. I loved every
Thank you,
minute of it.
USA people. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
And the no Canadians that are watching. We did have somebody from across the pond watching though. Naheed
Oh
was
yeah,
watching.
two Canadians, I think. Yes, two.
And Ligia was watching, but she's from I don't remember where she's from. Maybe South America, somewhere down there. I don't
Okay.
remember. She's not from the continental U.S., so I don't believe. And then Brandy's from another planet, so I'm just kidding, Brandy. All right, I think that's it. Thank you again,
Chris,
Rosalind.
aren't we all from our own planets?
Yes, yes, we
There you
are.
go.
Most definitely. Most definitely. All right, y'all. We'll see y'all next
Bye,
week.
everybody. Take care.
Bye.